All right, so okay. right in the thing.
Right
there,
right?
Location matters more than power in our experience.
All right, so go do this, turn the hips, if I remember correctly. Go in.
Oh yeah, you went to one of the best strip mall dojos.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Whoa. Oh, jeez.
My balls is totally moving, doing improving. Not now we get back up. I've got the heart and desire. My balls are on fire, ready to take us to the top of the stuff. Welcome to the show. Did you know that your mom is probably not a nice, probably a nice person? As I know. Probably.
No!
What happened?
Unacceptable.
I didn't even finish.
All hail the king of the West!
Can we still say blue balls on YouTube? Because that's what I just got.
Ah,
Me
man.
too.
Ah, no. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm so sorry to my guest. Jesus Trejo is here, and we can't do it again.
No.
I don't do that. I'm not doing it. Be like, that's how we do it. This is how it goes every time. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Every time you've watched this and I sing that song, it is it's that good. I'm like Robert Johnson. You know Robert Johnson, he sold his soul to the devil, and then he went into the recording studio and he recorded the Crossroads, and every track on that album that influenced rock and roll to exist because of Satan, he recorded every single one of those first try. Maybe no, one of them he did it twice, but he did a whole album. Ready? Here's my next song. Go. Doodle 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 doodle, and then blah blah blah, and then he's like, okay, you got that one? Okay, here comes my next one. He did a whole album.
It did help.
Don't do it.
That every one of the songs was
Shut up!
virtually
It's not.
identical.
They're not. They're completely. Shut up! It's not like that. Many riffs.
Now I got the soggy sandwich blues.
Riffage.
1, 2, 3.
Jesus, are you into music? And if you are, what kind of music? Do you know what I just talked about? Do you know? Are you aware of?
A little bit, but not
Robert
really.
Johnson?
But I will say, you know what kind of stuff I'm into? That intro song that just happened. I don't know what that was, but I love it.
Is that rock and roll?
Yeah, I'd say that's classic.
Or heavy metal.
Early metal.
Yeah.
Like Deep Purple, Foghat.
Do you like?
I love what just happened.
Do you like Deep Purple and stuff like that, or Ozzy?
No, I mean I like a little bit of everything. It's like, and I think I had my Slipknot phase in high school. I was like so into it.
Yeah,
explored a little bit of it, but I think it's like more in the Spanish, like Spanish country, also rap.
Spanish country.
Yeah, it's what I grew up listening to.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it's like regional music. It's what they call it, really. But it's the stuff that I grew up with, like corridos, if you will. I don't know if you're familiar with corridos. It's more of like I don't know. It's like storytelling.
Yeah,
kind of folk storytelling. I'm always like into anything that can tell a good story.
Yeah.
But it's like like your Chalino Sanchez of the world, which is like our Mexican Sinatras. Yeah, kind of like that. If you can liken it to somebody.
I like Mark Anthony. Does that count?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's all good. Is it? Yeah.
I don't know. I know because I have my boxing coach. He's Cuban, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and he plays like all that kind of stuff. But then he showed me a lot of Spanish music because he's like, if you learn how to dance, like salsa dance, it helps your footwork. So
oh, great!
I would do footwork patterns, and then I would do a salsa dancing lesson in the boxing ring.
Oh, really?
All the time, and then whenever we would hit pads. I hit pads for a round, and then when the bell ends, I get a little time to rest before I have to hit pads again. And he would always salsa dance with his mitts on
in between. Oh,
and
wow.
I wanted to dance with him, but I was so tired that I couldn't. And that's when if you get in shape,
You're able to salsa dance.
You can
in
salsa
between.
dance in between rounds and still get your heart rate down because it's not very physical,
Right.
But it's just like I don't want to move right now. I want to get air in my lungs.
It's very demoralizing to your opponent when you do that in between rounds.
That was going to be my plan for Lewis. If he made it a round, I was going
That's
to do
so
some
funny.
salsa. I was going to do some salsa dancing.
Yeah, imagine fighting and when you go to the corner and
Yeah.
you're drinking water, you see somebody just kind of
Yeah,
grooving. You're like, oh, this is not good.
that
like,
was the plan.
oh my God.
Yeah, he's lucky he got out of that. Cold turkey may be great on sandwiches, but there's a better way to break your bad habits.
We're not talking about some weird mind voodoo from your crazy neighbor or hypnosis.
We're talking about our sponsor, Fume, pronounced Fume, F-U-M. It's got a little wiggly thing above the U.
An umlaut.
Yeah, I love those. And they look at the problem in a different way.
Not everything in a bad habit is wrong, so instead of a drastic, uncomfortable change, why not just remove the bad from your habit?
Fume is an innovative, award-nominated device that does just that. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. Instead of a vapor, Fume uses flavored air. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses all natural, delicious flavors.
I will vouch for that. They are delicious flavored airs. You get it. Instead of bad, Fume is good. It's a habit you're free to enjoy and makes replacing your bad habit easy. Your Fume comes with an adjustable airflow dial, very easy to use, even I can figure it out, and is designed with movable parts and magnets for fidgeting, giving your fingers a lot to do, which is helpful for de-stressing and anxiety while breaking your habit.
I wasn't sure what to expect when I was surprised, but I was surprised by the taste. It was more flavorful than I thought, and it felt very fresh. They're very convenient, everybody, and they work good. And as a guy that probably uses vape pens too much, it's just handy to have in my little. I have a little. What do I have? Little pack bag.
Fanny pack?
I have a fanny pack with everything I need, and that one is super convenient. And you can use it everywhere because it's not vape. You
Nope.
don't blow anything out that bums anyone out.
It's air. It's well weighted, perfectly balanced, and extremely fun to fidget with. The real wood and shape are beautiful. I feel cool using it. Stopping is something we all put off because it's hard, but switching to Fume is easy, enjoyable, and even fun. Fume has served over 100,000 customers and has thousands of success stories. There's no reason that can't be you, bud.
Join Fume in accelerating humanity breakup from destructive habits by picking up the new Journey Pack. We got those, right?
We did.
Head to tryfume.com and use the code Jason to save 10% off when you get your Journey Pack today. That's tryfum.com and use the code Jason to save an additional 10% off your order today. Head to fume.com/Jason to save an additional 10% off your order. Thanks, Fume. Do you punch or anything? Do you know how to punch or fight?
I don't know how to fight. I actually took Muay Thai, like kickboxing and stuff, like in high school, and I was no good. No good. I was there for
How long
moral
did
support.
you go?
I went for a few years. I'd say a couple of years, right?
Yeah, okay.
And I was able to do like the kick.
Yeah.
I like kicking the back because of the sound it would make.
Yep.
But I was essentially no good. But that gym was packed with a ton of Cambodian guys who could they could just kick a bag. It would sound like a shotgun in there, just wah, wah.
Yeah.
And I showed up, but basically I was no good. I remember being knocked out in class off of a sparring session, bro.
What?
This guy just roundhouse kicked me, shin to the jaw, and I buckled, man.
Wow.
Buckled.
Yeah, those guys' shins ought to be registered as lethal weapons.
Man, they were sharp. I remember.
Did he have shin pads on?
We had all the padding, but I mean, still, when you got that much power, this is a grown man. I'm a high school kid. You know, I'd say top 17 years old, but man, I mean, it's like I remember some of those guys because they would fight outside like real deal. Master Omri had this like cream or solution that they would put on the shins, and they would kind of like beat it with like little sticks or something.
Yep.
I mean, these guys had like that was a knife.
Yeah, it's conditioned for it. Do you want to learn how to punch?
Oh yes, I'm all in.
So I have a punch pad, and it's precise. It's one of the most expensive punching machines that you can buy. It's the most compact one. Sure, the UFC's got a pretty good one, but the Jason Ellis Show has one of the finest punching measuring machines money can buy. Right, Michael?
One of one. Yes.
What?
It's one of one. It's a
rare. No, I think you could probably order it.
But this one's got history. This one, it's like in Rocky IV when Drago's got all the really fancy stuff and the steroids. This is like the Rocky in the cabin version.
Okay.
This punching pad has been with us for 15 years.
It's all hard.
Wow.
It's all hard. And some of the most illustrious pro fighters and pro comics have punched it.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
So we can find out.
I'm in.
So we'll do...
Yeah. I'll follow your lead.
Turn it on, and then you punch it, and then after you punch it, I'll give you a pointer and see if you punch harder after I give you the pointer.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right?
So
Jump up.
Okay.
I'm trying to see who the hardest hitting comic of all time is.
Oh, you have the list?
Not Brendan Schaub Division.
All right. Here we go.
I can tell you. Is it Doug Benson?
Wait, that's not right.
I've got faith in you. I believe that you can beat a 49.
If you go to the widescreen, okay. All right, so right in the thing.
Right
Yeah.
there, right?
Location matters more than power in our experience.
All right. So go do this. Turn the hips, if I remember correctly. Go in.
Oh yeah, you went to
this
one of the
guy,
best
he does right.
strip mall dojos.
All right. Here we go.
Here you go.
Oh jeez.
What was the score?
Looks like
38.
38
Is that good?
means you are almost as mighty as Tom Green.
Okay, but look, but now you sit down a little bit.
Okay.
Like sit a little bit lower, and this foot you pivot like you're putting a cigarette out, and that pushes your hip. So you punch with your hip.
Okay.
So you got to think about you sit down.
You're like
and then
pooping.
you throw it all from back here in that back leg.
Okay.
Right, and then you twist it and land with these two knuckles.
These two knuckles. Okay.
Right
So
on the spot.
what did I get the first time?
You got a 38,
38.
I believe.
38. Okay.
It looked a lot better than
Yeah, I wasn't expecting you to hit that hard. That's for sure.
Yeah, maybe it was you falling over that made me think.
Yeah, that seemed like a.
I'll be ready for this
39.
one. Okay, here we go.
Channel the Slipknot inside of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, seeing you fall over felt like a 39.
Push your fingers
I mean, I
into
don't
your
know.
eyes and then punch it.
All right, go like this, and then we're gonna go
Yeah, a little bit close, I think.
right here.
No, you're too close. Go further back.
Right here. Okay. That was like a 32.
You got a 54,
Told ya.
Whoa!
The difference is all in the coaching.
which leaves you tied with you have some illustrious company. Jack Osborne,
Ooh. I'm in good company.
Twitch, both Mike Catherwood and Dr. Drew from Loveline.
So let me ask you this: when I hit 38, you fall over, but when I hit 50, you're up.
He was ready for it.
He was ready for it. Okay, that's how that works.
Also, this punch pad may be a complete piece of shit.
No, what? Don't say that.
No.
No, this thing is, as I said before, spot on. And I believe it was my coaching that made you hit it harder.
Yes, we all saw it in real time. That was pretty cool, man. I like punching those things where you go to a bar and you pull the bag down and you punch it. Like that's always a good time. I feel like, yeah.
Yeah. I never go to bars where that's happening.
No,
I just see it on YouTube. And
Yeah.
I go, oh, that looks cool.
Yeah, it's fun and yeah.
they're
I'm trying to think where I've seen one.
I don't know. People are throwing axes.
I saw one in Reno.
I don't want to throw axes.
I don't want to go to Reno.
I don't mind Reno, but that was when I did cocaine, so maybe I probably don't like Reno now. Is Havasu in Reno?
I don't know.
Is it close?
Close to it, I think. Yeah.
All right. I like Havasu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Havasu likes me, but I like Havasu. It's so weird being a gay straight guy. I hate it. Seriously gonna blow myself up.
Have you, what are you basing that on? What do you know about Havasu?
When I went there for Alice Mania, all those dudes were they all got boats and beers and everyone's, just ready to party and have a good time.
Is that a fishing town or?
Yeah, I would say a little bit, but more.
Havasu? I thought that was more like
They fish there, don't
like
they?
a spring breaky.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely like.
I get it. You
Sometimes
said
it's
boats.
packed
Oh,
and
okay.
sometimes it's empty. But when it's empty and the locals are there, I'm talking about those people.
Oh, okay.
It's like they don't. I think they're like Trump supporters and they hate me. But they like one part of me totally gets it. Like we should jump off this cliff. We should go jet skiing and we look at those chicks with the boobies. That's real cool. But and then I go drifting off, confusing everybody.
Did you try blowing them? Guys love that.
Yeah, I sensed that would not have gone as well.
That's so weird.
Isn't it? We were just jet skiing, and now, I don't know.
It felt great until I found out that you were a man. Now all of a sudden the exact same thing feels terrible.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
It doesn't.
That's
It
not
baffles
how-
me every day,
It's
Michael.
not how BJ's work.
What about your feet, Jesus? Are you nice to your feet?
Am I nice to my feet?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I tend to wear socks.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
Toes are very important. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah. How so?
Well, they like run your whole body because you always use those to go everywhere.
Yeah, they're part of the foot
Some say.
package. Yeah, it's part of the foot. Yeah, that's how that works for sure. So yeah, they're kind of
They're the most important part, 'cause
are the toes.
Yeah, because you got no balance without toes.
I did know that actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
So, you'd have
What
to...
toe would be the least important? Like if you had to lose one, which one would you go for? Knowing
Pinky,
that they're all
the little one, yeah.
See,
The
I'm gonna-
little toe, the less you use,
I'm going to disagree with you there.
Okay?
Because I feel like the one, first of all, the one
Oh,
that's
the
on
one
the
right
outside
behind it?
needs to push a little bit, needs to do a little heavy lifting. That's like the little engine that could. And also, if my ring finger is this worthless on my hand, I can only imagine how worthless that
Interesting.
little POS.
You might be right.
And it's like everybody's a little webbed when it comes to their ring
Yeah.
toe.
Yeah, maybe it's
That guy's just along for the
Just
ride.
having
It's
that
like,
little guy shuckering out on the end.
I think your ring toe is just basically like the useless conjoined twin of the foot.
because I think like the
That's how I was
pinky
raised.
toe is the difference between hitting the pad 38 and 50. I feel like that's the detail.
Well,
right
you're supposed
there,
to be pivoting on your big toe for that.
right? Oh, okay.
The little toe's out of the game. But what Tully was saying before, when you're stretched to like cutting
Yeah.
angles, that pinky toe is like really sticking into the ground
That's
to
his
like
time to
send you
shine.
the other way. Yeah, you might be right. It is his time. Like
Yeah.
Allen Iverson, those toes, those little pinkies, those are $1 billion toes.
Yeah, all the balance and stuff of being able to,
Uh,
go for it.
I would do a toe transplant, like just have bigger toes so I'm extra balanced.
Would you add another toe to your foot?
That's a good question.
Talk about ultimate balance.
Would it be, or would just bigger 5 toes be better?
Like finger toes?
Like long, not too long, because then you have to wear like different shoes.
Also,
and-
shoes would be a mess. You couldn't find shoes anywhere, right?
But if you had just toes that were like an inch longer, all of them.
Can I play piano with my feet?
No, I mean, yeah.
I mean,
because
yeah.
there's ladies with no arms that can like sew and stuff. You ever see that?
Yeah, I
She
would
makes
imagine like
breakfast.
having longer toes when you wear like slides. They'd completely be.
But couldn't you just get bigger slides?
Well, you're going to need flip-flops that are custom made so that
On the front
the
end.
thong is set further back.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
You get
yeah.
that, you're golden.
Yeah.
I don't like flip flops a lot, so I don't.
No, I don't want toe wedgies.
I'm not wearing flip flops anyway. Like
Flip
I
flops
can't do
versus
it.
slides.
I'll wear slides.
Slides, okay, but
Yeah.
not flip flops.
Yeah, I can't do it. I used to wear thongs, so they were called in Australia, and they were the old school little ones. But now thongs are, they try to make them fancy. That's just ridiculous. It's like, what I mean, like a painting made out of poo. I don't want to deal. I can't be. You can't. You're trying to make stylish thongs. Seriously, stop. You know what I mean? They're not stylish. They suck.
When is it acceptable to wear a sandal thong? Like when would
When
that
you're
be?
5 and you got the little heel thing on the back.
Yeah,
That's cool.
When
That's
you just
it.
had bunion surgery.
that's it. Yeah, getting your nails done or something.
Yeah, you got a toe.
That's it.
Salad,
Other
there
than
you
that, out of here. Slides all the way.
You got like a toe amputated, then you wear them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shark attack. Crabs never just chop off a toe when you're like walking in the water and you bump into one. They never do that, right?
Chop out a whole toe?
Yeah, like has anyone ever been in a crab accident where they lost a toe?
I don't think they're that strong.
Uh,
Enough to
We
snap
fear,
a
we
toe?
fear them like we treat them like that. Like, you ever seen one grab onto you or grab onto someone and they start freaking out?
It definitely hurts, but I don't think
But
it's
it
enough.
can't get it off, right?
Right. You kind of doing this number.
Can a big lobster probably get it off? Like
Yeah.
a guy with bigger claws could probably get
Or
it
how
off.
big does a lot? Well, it
How
has to
big
be
does a claw
relative to
get?
the size of the finger, right?
Yeah,
I wish we had
right,
a fisherman on the show.
Well, we got photos. Jesus, I don't want to start a fight with you, but
No, not at all.
I think you're making broad generalizations
Yeah.
about crabs.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like maybe.
Like, what about like a snow crab? You ever see those guys at the Chinese restaurants inland?
Yeah.
They have like 3
I think a
foot-long
pinky
arms.
would fly off.
No
Which
doubt.
do you think is easier to bite off, a pinky finger or a pinky toe?
Ooh. I think probably pinky finger because it has more length to it
Yeah,
than the. This one's yeah.
yeah.
This has less leverage.
Right.
This has more bend than a pinky toe would, I guess.
You're going to need terrific aim to get a pinky toe
Yeah,
as
right.
well.
Apparently, mud crabs are not strong enough to snip off a finger.
Boom.
There you
Hell
go.
yeah.
So you cannot. There's no need in fearing the crab ever again, ladies and gentlemen.
Unless it's a coconut crab.
Yeah, but
Ooh, tell us
a
more.
coconut crab is, dude. They are the creepiest things ever,
I've never seen one.
dude. I only recently discovered them. They climb up trees and stuff, but
No.
they have the most power in their claws, more than a bear's jaws.
Really?
Yeah,
What?
googled.
Oh
I'm
my
not
go,
familiar
go.
with them. Because coconut shrimp are just delicious.
Yeah,
Delicious.
I think this is different, Michael.
Arguably
sure.
one of the best leftover foods. Coconut shrimp, when they just sit there.
You're right.
The next day when you reheat them, they find a new flavor somehow.
That's right. They're this
Like pasta.
amazing blend
Yes.
of
Wow.
soggy and crispy the next day.
Yeah. There we go.
I
Yeah,
get
look
it.
at these. Look at this coconut crab.
Oh.
Yeah, and if you put your finger in there, I reckon they get a wrist off.
Probably.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I saw one on a golf bag the other day.
That is insane.
Right?
It's like a traffic cone coming to life.
It's so impressive. It's such a beast.
Can we
Like
eat those?
such a no.
Because they look like crab lobsters.
Yeah, but big crabs don't taste good. I caught a giant freshwater crayfish when I was a kid in Australia because I used to catch them all the time. And when I caught a whopper, I was like, "Hey, everybody, I got the biggest one." Everyone's like, "Whoa, Jay got the biggest one." It tasted like crap.
no good.
All the ones that were half the size taste way better. I don't know.
Wow.
How
I wonder what that is. It's like,
bigger the meat. I don't know how it works.
yeah.
I'm not a scientist. You think I would be though, with all the facts
The
that I
inverse
have.
relationship between crab legs, the bigger they get, the worse they taste.
I could be. I just know from freshwater crayfish, what is that? What is that here? Like a lobster?
I would imagine so.
Some kind
There's
of
like a blue crab or like a blue lobster, how rare they are. It's
Yeah.
they're like one in I don't
Australia, they're all blue.
know. Are they really?
Yeah, like
Well,
greeny blue.
Blue crabs aren't like that. That's a whole Maryland thing.
These are
No, it's a
lobsters.
rare
right?
thing, right?
But the blue lobster,
Lobster.
Lobster are super
right?
rare.
You find one of those, you get to go to Willy Wonka's factory.
That's cool.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You eat some exotic food, I'm guessing, as a street taco guy. I
I
saw
guess-
you had Mark Maron on your show. And what was it? It was
Yeah.
like a spinal cord or something.
Yeah, that was on. It was goat meat. It was what's called birria.
Yeah.
And it's not really exotic. It almost seems like kind of normal, like from Mexico, especially the region where my mom's from. Birria, goat meat it's like in a curry.
Yeah.
Very normal.
So let me ask you about that.
Yeah.
Because not a week ago, I was at a food truck, La Unica.
La Única, yeah, Birria La Única.
See, I've already
great spot.
I got the easy part hard, and I wasn't sure how. I feel stupid saying, "Can I have birria?" But I also feel really stupid going, "Yeah, I'll take some birria tacos." I feel like there's no right way for a guy like me.
No,
to
either
ask
way-
for goat meat.
No, either way, you said it right. The first time you said it, I already knew. Única, birria,
Yeah.
birria. Either way,
Birria.
yeah, birria. It's so good.
Checking to make sure you sound cool next time you go.
No,
Can't you
I'm
just say
trying to make
lamb?
sure I don't embarrass
You can't say
myself.
lamb?
Well, especially because it's goat. No.
Oh, sorry. Can't say goat. Sorry.
How
Hey,
about
man,
crab?
that's-
No, it's goat. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, what about crab?
chicken. No, goat.
And they go, do you mean goat? And you go, yeah.
Beery at me, bro.
It's kind of stringy. I would say like goat meat is a little stringy.
I like that though.
It's good.
Yeah.
It has an interesting taste.
Where's the spine at, though? Did you say spine earlier?
Yeah. So Mark ate one of the little spine, like the vertebrae kind of thing, and he wasn't really into it.
Yeah, but you are.
Yeah, it's good. You don't
You
even
eat
think about it. Yeah.
The spine.
Yeah, you eat the spine. You even eat like the brain part of the goat. The cheek of the goat. A cow tongue. I guess it's kind of exotic.
Do you eat that?
Yeah, I've ate that before. Very very soft. It's almost like the fatty part of a steak. That's the consistency of it.
And what do you have that with?
Just some chopped onion, cilantro. Put some sauce on there, and you just eat it as a taco. You just kind of take the rough part, like the top layer of the tongue, like the hair
the bumpy
part.
bit.
The bumpy bit, I'm salivating as I'm telling you this.
Wow, that is not what I'm doing. But anyway, go
I
ahead.
got that. You know that saliva you get right before you barf?
Oh, is that what you're getting?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
He's like, I'll give it one of my toes not to ever try that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun to me. But anyway,
It's
I
good.
would still do it.
Which is very interesting because of it's just the palate. I mean, you grow up eating it, and it seems very normal, I guess. But yeah, it's like, I like weird dishes like that, I guess.
Yeah, my kids are all about the tongue.
Do you like it more than your stock meats?
I like it all. I mean, give me a good like New York strip. I mean, I'm all in. Like that's my favorite. Blue cheese crumbles on top, a little butter on there. You know, like salt, pepper.
What is the greatest taco you've ever had?
The greatest taco I've ever had. I mean, that's a tough one.
You and Pauly Shore went to Taco Bell.
We did, and he wasn't thrilled about that.
Wait.
So on the
you
show,
have a show,
yeah. So I have a show
where
with
you eat
First with
tacos and
Feast.
Pauly Shore, you take him to fucking Taco Bell instead of all the other.
There's
places?
reasonings behind this. So
Okay.
I do a show called Tacos con Todo. It's with First We Feast, and we go around trying different taco spots with comics. So we go for the Pauly Shore episode. We ended up going to Taco Bell because I wanted to go to a place that's just as much as like they're a part of Americana just as much as Pauly is.
Yeah.
And once I said that, he's like, "Oh, okay, I see why we're here."
Okay.
But initially, he was not thrilled. And that episode, we went on to try Tito's Tacos.
Okay.
And that Tito's Tacos is in Culver City, and this is like think Taco Bell before they went mainstream. What that would look like, and they're still serving a very authentic, crispy taco, cheese that's shredded, yellow lettuce, ground meat, that kind of stuff. So. We did a compare and contrast. So we had this whole story arc to it. But when we took Pauly straight to the drive-thru of Taco Bell, he's like, "Dude, I thought you were taking me to a nice place." I'm like, "This is a nice place."
Oh, wow.
So that was a through line of that episode. But I will say LA has a ton of amazing taco spots. Like Evil Cooks. These guys are heavy metal, classically trained, like these guys are top notch. They used to work in like Italian kitchens, all kinds of like high-end restaurants, but they leave all that to do tacos. And they do like a squid al pastor trompo. They do that. They do like this satanic taco that's like a Big Mac. So they're really taking chances, and they're not really following the rules of what quote unquote taquero is.
Yeah.
And they got a great thing going. But there's places like Tacos 1986, which is like a adobada. There's Birria La Única. Yeah, I mean,
Do you like a crazy taco, or is your favorite taco just like some stock little cheap one, or is the
I think my
extravagant more your
favorite
thing?
at its core comes to like a al pastor taco,
Okay.
like the ones on the spindle. You know, like red meat. It's like if you get one with the pineapple shard in there, it's like it's just perfect. It's not. There's no bells and whistles, but it's everything you need. But you know, sometimes you want to go with all the craziness of it. So it's like shrimp, Mariscos Jalisco, which is on that same strip as Birria La Única. They do an amazing like shrimp salad taco.
Yeah.
So it's like it just depends what you want to do.
LA is so fun for that. The other day, like I caught myself. I was talking to my wife and I said, I'm just going to go get some tacos. It's one ended up at Unica. But I said, hey, I've been meaning. She said, where do you want to go? I said, well, I've been meaning to try that place under the overpass. And I was like, oh, they're not there on Sunday. And I was like, wait, hold on a second. Before I
Yeah.
moved to Los Angeles, that would never be like a thing that civilized human beings could say to each other. Well, that place, I hear great things about the taco table underneath the overpass by our house.
And you see that a lot, like you see that happening like quite a bit, which I think is pretty cool. Is like a lot of these families are bringing their like family recipes to this corner, just like a table, and you just know if you want this specific thing, a sope, a torta, a specific taco, you know what corner to hit and what part of town. So I think it's really cool because it's giving otherwise families who don't have the means to have a restaurant to have an outlet and introduce, the food from their region to people. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
You became an author
I did.
somewhat recently.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I got this kids book that I have coming out that I wrote, and it's a kids book series, and I'm super excited. Our first one's due to come out June 6th. It's called Papa's Magical Water Jug Clock, and they're also releasing it in Spanish. It's called Barrilito Mágico de Papá, and it just it tells this story because I grew up working with my dad. My dad's he did landscaping, gardener, and I grew up working with my dad ever since I was little. So we tell this kind of father-son story of working with my dad. It was like an inside joke that my dad had. And, my dad used to tell me that he could tell how much time, what time it was based on how much water we had in our jug. And I believe that. As a kid, I'm like, man, Dad could tell time. And I took it at face value, and whenever I didn't want to work, I would waste water. And it would be 10:30 in the morning. I was like, hey, Dad, water's gone. We got to go home. He's like, no, you're ruining my clock kind of thing. And he would explain to me, but it became an inside joke that I had, working with my dad from a little kid to, when we sold the company. And, that story is illustrated here for kids, so I hope people go out there and buy it. It's in Spanish and English, which I'm very excited about. And
Are you a dad?
No.
What possesses thee to write a kid's book?
I've always, I basically grew up in a library. Like a library was a big part of my upbringing. It's like, I often joke about it. It's like, I don't know that librarians knew that there were babysitters because parents would leave their kids there and they would go do their things. So it's like, she was my unofficial babysitter. My parents worked.
Yeah.
So sometimes I can go work with my dad, but when I couldn't, I stayed with mom. Mom had to work.
Yeah.
She had to do stuff. So just drop you off in a library, and I would just go through all the books. I just go one by one, go to a different part of the library, go to this part of the library. So it became such a big part of my upbringing. It's like, I kid you not, this children's book, I put it up there with my 1 hour special. So the 1 hour special is a big part of, like, as a comic, you want that 1 hour special, but having a kid's book, to me, it means it's like neck and neck. I mean, the specials are like, they're right there. It means a lot to me because, one, the hour special, having it come out on Showtime back in 2020 was a huge deal.
Yeah.
And, having the book now, it's like, it's a huge deal as well to be able to show that to my parents,
So does that mean you'll do another one?
Yeah, we got a second title in the works already.
So that's like another career.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're good at it.
I like to think that I'm able to bring my skill sets from, like, being a stand-up comedian and a storyteller into this different career, like you're saying, of writing books and, using, humor and stuff like that. So some of the jokes that I've even used in my stand-up, I'm able to kind of bring to life in the book. And I think a lot of people will recognize some of those jokes in that book. And it's like, it's, the silliness that I like to look at, that I can, bring in front of a different audience. So,
how long have you been a comedian for? What is there something else playing right now?
I hear something. I don't know where it's coming from.
Can you check the living room?
Yeah.
I feel like a poltergeist just turned the TV on.
that's funny.
It's not going to be anything that cool.
You think it's people in the front yard? That'd be weird. Was it?
Yeah, that Netflix just started going for some reason.
How dare.
How dare they?
I think mine is finally gone. I think the cancellation date just passed.
Good for you, Michael.
I'm done.
You're done.
Are you feeling any regret?
Not yet. I did want to watch that Adam Sandler basketball movie, but I can't pay $15 a month just to watch more Adam Sandler movies. No
Yeah.
disrespect to Adam Sandler.
$15 a month.
Netflix has been taking me for granted for some time.
Michael's against Netflix.
You don't like it.
What's good on there?
So it sounds like you exhausted what you
Rob
like on there.
Schneider's got a TV show on there. So
Rob
does that make you feel
Schneider
better?
paid to make a TV show, and then when nobody would put it on their channel, Netflix graciously agreed to host it for him.
Jesus, I didn't get it. How long have you been a comedian?
Oh, 16 years.
16.
Yeah, I started when I was 20. I'm 36 now. So I'm going to hit my 17th year in August.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I know. I cussed. Whatever. What?
Nothing.
Oh.
Yeah, I started at the Comedy Store. So I was a door guy there
Shit.
for a while.
Were you
Okay.
part of that whole like Sam Tripoli generation?
No, that was before me. So I got past September 7th, 2012. Is
Yeah.
when I got past, and for a few years before that, I'm parking cars, I'm cleaning toilets,
Yeah.
mopping seating people, ripping tickets, answering phones. I literally would pick up any shift I possibly could get my hands on just so I could be there. And
How did you do that? Like, are you around or did you call?
no, I was around. Like
You
I
just
kept,
stayed there all day.
I showed up. I showed up. I kept going on the open mic. So the potluck, they call it.
Yeah.
So I would go and sign up. Back then, potluck was on a Sunday and Monday. So if you don't get up on Sunday, you go Monday and try to get up.
Okay.
And then if you got up on Sunday, you knew that you might as well not show up on Monday. Go hit up another mic because
Yeah.
you got up already.
Okay.
So I would do that for a better part of a year until one of the door guys I was working in the back door, Davey was opening for another comedian. They needed somebody to replace him. And I'd been hanging out. I mean, I was annoying of like, hey, I want to work here. I want to work here. I want to work here. And finally they're like, hey, they need to cover somebody's shift. We're short people.
And you were there?
And I was there, and they're like, hey, you start tomorrow. I'm like, great. This is what I've been
Yeah.
hoping for. I mean, so finally I'm now working the door, and it's a minimum wage job, but it was enough for me to pay for parking, my drive from Long Beach to the store. Now I'm watching comedy, I'm learning, I'm doing my hot little 3 minutes of stage time. I'm tanking, I'm eating shit on stage, but loving it because I'm learning.
Yeah.
And then I was there for a few years until I got passed. So
That's pretty cool to say that you were tanking and you were loving it because
Yeah.
you knew that there's a learning process here, and I'm not supposed to be the champion of the world straight off the bat. Like,
no, yeah, it's like if I'm being honest, I was eating it for the first 5 to 6 years. I could not get a laugh to save my life, and I'm being completely honest. It's like if there was any laughs, I didn't know why I was getting the laughs.
Yeah.
It's like taking a math test and you're like, oh, you got this one right, but I'm like, how? I just wrote a number down. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm telling jokes how to the best of my ability, but it's not. I don't know why I kept doing it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's like it's something that I loved. I was learning. I was understanding the challenges of what it meant to like write a joke, perform a joke.
Yeah.
But it's like then it's like around like year 7 things started to come around a little more. So by year 10 I felt comfortable. It's like, and I still don't feel comfortable. I'm still a nervous wreck
I've
before I get on
seen you
stage.
nervous at like a little place before.
Oh,
and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
out
that's
of all the
right.
people here, why is he nervous? You're the most, like the best one and the one that's been here the longest. And it was like a little room.
Yeah, that was a fun show, but yeah, it's like I don't ever look at it that way. Like you're saying, it's like the best one here, the one that's been at it longest. It's like I'm more concerned with, can I get this premise to work? Yeah, I mean, it's like I've used this analogy before. It's like, I don't know if you guys ever played Mario Kart.
I'm aware of it, but
Okay, so Mario Kart, there's a level where you can play where there's a ghost version, like a faint, translucent version of your best time, and you're riding side by side.
Okay.
And you can see other players kind of passing you by, but it's like you're really not concerned with trying to beat those guys.
yeah,
You're trying
to beat you.
your best time, and
Yeah.
sometimes you see your best time just pass you by, and you're like, well, you just chalk it up to the game, and you at least know it's like, I should have done this, I should have done that. So it's like I've always compared it to my last joke, but I get nervous because I'm like, what if I don't deliver? Going back to, it's like they bring you in to do a show. What if you eat stuff? You know what I mean? On
Yeah.
stage, it's like Then what? So I stopped kind of paying attention to like, it almost felt good. I was looking forward towards the bomb. If I can bomb on stage, it's like, if I replicate this joke, it's not going to be the same bomb. Like, who wants a bomb?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I became enamored with the process, I think.
And that probably helped you get better faster too, right?
Little by little. I mean, it's tough. You know, it's like it's a tough gig, and just because, you know, history doesn't dictate what's going to happen in the future with stand-up. Anything else, you can kind of like, you know, like a stock. You're like, oh, we project that this is going to be good based on this. It's like the variables are very different night after night. The audience is different. The sound is different. I mean, so you just go up there and give it a whirl.
Hey everybody, Jason Ellis Show, talking about AG1. Take it in the morning, 1 scoop in water and shake it. And Bob's your uncle.
We are big fans of AG1. I carry this pouch with me everywhere I go because I never know when is the next time I'm going to have an easier opportunity to get. There are so many things in this that I'm so blind I can't even read.
75 vitamins and minerals.
Daily support for energy and immune system, gut health and digestion, liver function. Friends, if you're anything like us, you've been so unkind to your liver for so many decades. AG1 is the least you could do for your liver. It's so easy, and best of all, it's delicious. It's pretty easy to get a supplement that tastes good that doesn't do anything. This is everything you need in one package. Good tasting, easy to scoop, easy to drink, everything you need once a day.
If you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is giving you a free year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/JES. That's athleticgreens.com/JES. What is the best thing that's happened to you in comedy, and what is the worst thing?
The best thing in comedy is that I keep getting booked. That's the best thing.
Okay. So every week you're like, hell yeah, it's continuing.
Every time somebody reaches out and want to do my show, I'm like, thank you so much. You know, it's like, oh my God, you want to book me again? Sometimes, you know, I think that's the best thing because it's like, maybe it shows that I'm doing something right, that I can go bring the new idea, the new joke, and try that. And I think the worst thing that has happened is in comedy is not getting booked. I mean, there's shows where, there's no way they're gonna call me back because they're, you know, they saw that performance, they base it on that, and I don't blame them. You know, it's like, there's, you know, I've bombed very hard, very very hard, and and that's okay.
Yeah,
part of the game, I guess.
How are you liking stand up?
I love it.
Yeah.
I feel like I love it more than ever now because there's I'm past the I shouldn't even be here thing, you know, where I go out on stage and I'm like this makes no sense that I'm here, you know, like it's.
Why did you feel that?
That's
odd.
Because I would get shows that were undeserving of my amount of effort. Like I haven't been here that long, and because I got like a radio show or, you know, skateboard, or I know Tony Hawk, you know, people had me on shows, and I was super inexperienced, and just like you said, like you hung out at the Comedy Store until somebody gave you a job parking cars. I didn't park any cars. I don't live there all day. I've done like 4 or 5 shows there, and they feel a little unworthy. Like I'm friends with Louis J. Gomez or Big J. Okerson, and next thing you know, Tim Dillon asked me to do a show with him. I'm like, Tim Dillon? I'm at the Comedy Store with Tim Dillon. Are you? It's not worthy. And then
it's interesting that you say that, because it's like the fact that I park cars shouldn't make you feel that I mean that you missed out on that thing. It's like your path is different. And I think these guys,
I just respect your path more. Like in skateboarding, I grew up, I made it. You know what I mean, with no help. That's how you do it.
Sure.
And then in comedy, I'm getting a helping hand. But now I feel like the helping hand is kind of worn off. I definitely don't ask anybody for favors, but I get little gigs, couple a week. I get to practice at the third wheel, and every now and then somebody who's proper, like Ryan Sickler or somebody will offer me a show to do with him. And now, because I've been doing a lot of shows, little ones, big one, whatever, and I that's what I do. That's what I think about. I think about the show and all that stuff, but I think about comedy. I am actually starting to write jokes for the first time this week where it is a setup and a punchline. I've never done that because I'm just a storyteller. And the comedy bit was always hard for me to. I'm like, wait, so you make up a thing and then you did it at the end of it? I'm like, man, I can't do that. Like I just say funny stuff sometimes. Mm-hmm. So I'm starting to figure that bit out. That's the biggest piece of the puzzle for me because that's
huge.
I hear you guys, especially when you set up and then you bring back to like another thing that you were talking about. I'm like, man, like you do it a lot. You're like a pro's pro where you bring up little things that keep coming back in the story. And I'm like, man, how do you remember to do all that?
That's very kind. I appreciate those kind words, but ultimately it's the more you do it, you find what works for you. It's like, and you're a storyteller, and to go back to the point, it's like all these awesome comedians that you just named. It's like these are like killers, and they're looking to you. It's like because they're looking to your story. It's like, and you're learning how to tell your story on stage, and I think that's awesome, and it's a story worth telling. I mean, you've had a bunch of careers in such a short amount of time. You're a young dude with this life experience. I'm
not that young, but thanks.
Well, you look young.
Yeah.
Let's get him a snow crab. Yeah. But it's something worth telling, and I think sure now the work is like you doing any and every show. That's where people start to see. It's like, oh, he's enamored with the art. He respects the craft, and they see you doing these things. I think that's really cool to see.
Yeah, I love it. I got little comedy friends now.
That's so cool.
I go down there and I hang out, and I'm part of the group. Like, you going up, Ellis? I'm like, yeah, man, of course I'll go up.
Hell yeah.
I feel like I gotta, because definitely the first 2 years I was just like, hey man, like, what are you doing over there? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, you coming in? And I'm like, hey, is it cool? I swear. I just stayed back and kind of I'm listening to everybody. Like, okay, that's cool. Okay, you hang out over there if you've been around for a long time. But if you haven't been around a long time, you don't hang out there. You go over here. And
that's funny. So you've been a part of a lot of like scenes, right?
Yeah.
You have fight scene.
Yeah.
Skateboarding, music. Like, there's a ton of scenes.
Yep.
How does the stand-up scene compared to all the other ones? Is it a welcoming scene?
Yeah, I think so.
I've seen so far?
I've heard some people get bullied, and some comics are, a lot of their humor is mean humor, and if you don't get it, it's kind of your fault. But I also see that, some people that did your life of comedy, I feel like they've got a bitterness towards anybody that doesn't do that because it really bummed them out. So they continue the bully thing. And those people worry me a little bit.
Does that exist in the skateboarding world?
Yeah, for sure.
So
not anymore.
Oh, not anymore. That's great.
Something happened with skateboarding, and they're very understanding to each other.
I'll say it. Kids today are pussies.
It just seems like people... Because it used to be vert dudes against street dudes. And then pool dudes. Like, you're a dude from a certain terrain. And now there's still those guys, but there's a lot more people that ride everything. But even the ones that just ride street or just ride vert have positive opinions about the other. It's not a jealous thing anymore. Because I think at one point, vert guys had it all because there was no other skateboarding. Then street came and it was way more popular. So all the vert dudes didn't get as much fame. They didn't get as much money. And they're a bit bitter about it. And
it's funny, even as you're saying that, it's like, I think that happens in every and any scene, right? It's like you have a group of guys who's doing this one thing, and then there's a couple people in that scene that say, hey, I'm going to do something different. Yeah. And then there's another group that forms, and then I'm going to do something different. So I think there's an ever so present like need to want to be different, but find a new community within being different.
Yeah, and it's evolved into making skateboarders so much better. the stuff that people do now.
It's insane.
And the people that do it, because it's just little kids and women. You know, there's like young girls out there that are just
shredded.
I would have said in my prime in the 90s, in the early 2000s, that it just isn't going to happen for them. You know, like as much as they love it, they're not going to do some of the things that we do. And now there's a 10-year-old that I skate with that she destroys me. She's
great.
Amazing, and she hasn't even.
And I love to hear that. I love to hear that it's like the art is like, whether it's skateboarding or stand up, is like it's like the bar is continually being like placed differently. Yeah. I mean, it just with time the learning curve becomes a lot better.
Yeah,
it's just something that happens.
Yeah, because when people get to a high level of stuff, they can pass down how to get good at it quicker. Mm-hmm. You know, there was a time where we didn't have all the terrain that we have now. There's things that are so small, you learn it there and you bring it to the next biggest version, and the next and the next and the next. And then there's the foam pits and all these other things that you can do to get these tricks quicker.
Right.
When back in the day, like the first Mike McGill did the first McTwist, when he did a McTwist, he seriously just took off out of a bowl and ducked his chin and was like, I really want it.
Here goes nothing.
But here goes nothing. You know, and then because he went around, we all saw him go around. We're like, oh,
right.
You can go around. It's nowhere near the same as the first guy that went around, because
right.
we haven't proved that going around would work.
Right.
That's right. It's like the first man who ate a lobster.
Right.
Get him a lobster over here. But it's like with the advent of the internet, I think it really revolutionized everything.
You don't have to have. If you just so happen to be good friends with Michael Jordan, then you will see it happening in front of you. But now you don't even have to know him. You got video of it. Skateboarding,
you see people put up tutorials. Before, it's like if somebody in the neighborhood knew how to do a kickflip, you learn how to do a kickflip the way that kid did it.
Yeah,
right?
And he might not be teaching you the right way either. Now there's people that can break it down for all different people how to get things done.
Yeah,
Mitchie
I actually
Brusco is the guy that does it.
I find that I'm kind of giving up on parenting because of that. Because my kid's at an age where he's like, "How do I do this?" And I'm like, "Well,
Google it.
Let me think about how do I." And I'm like, "There's somebody on YouTube who's made like
100
guys.
Job,
100 guys made the exact same video, and
they're gonna understand it better from them too.
One of them explained it so great that their video is more popular than everybody else's. There's no way off the dome I'm gonna be that good at telling you how to play guitar.
He's gonna crush you. Yeah, you're right.
It's still on YouTube.
That's totally one way. You're like, I'm gonna give up being a parent and just watch these videos, or I'm gonna soak in every version of this from every dad, that puts up this video, and I'm gonna become my own version. There's many ways.
I guess I got that option.
I feel like I got a lot of parental advice from my therapist, and I feel like some of these people on YouTube are probably like speaking the same thing.
Oh, no doubt.
Like how to do it, how to approach it.
Totally, and it's like, for stand up, you look at it, it's like, I remember going.
Any YouTube tutorials I should be checking out for stand up?
No, just keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing. No, but it's like back in the day, if you wanted to see stand up, I would have to go to the library and check out a VHS and watch Def Jam or somebody's hour special. And I didn't have a VCR at home, so they had the little TV. You pop it in there and you watch it, and then put it back, and you rent it out for like 25 cents. Now it's like Instagram in itself is a whole Wikipedia of guys doing it. You go on YouTube, you can watch any special from.
I think it hurts podcasting, because I think people watch the promo on Instagram and say they watched the latest episode. Because I get a lot of people telling me, "Man, that was so funny, that one bit where you did the thing and then so and so did the thing," and I'm like,
"Oh, that's
you mean clip on the promo on Instagram?" Like, did you catch anything else in that hour podcast? Because I feel like the answer is no.
Yeah, I think once you say two funny things, you can pretty much just coast the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Show's over.
Yeah, we should probably cut out with Lobster and leave.
What if you did a podcast episode where it's like you do something funny and then just blank for 45 minutes? You just stand there.
See if anybody complains.
And see if anybody writes anything about it. That would be awesome.
I feel like we'd hear from them. As much as I...
The only people would notice are the only people who comment on every single.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd be hearing from it right now.
See, a couple things to go over before we wrap up here. Speaking of mystery meat and street food and the like, an Australian company has successfully cultivated meatballs from the DNA of extinct woolly mammoths.
Why balls?
Because I think they have trouble with...
Couldn't they make it into a fake steak?
I think the texture of the steak that's version 3.0.
Oh, so right now all we're getting
All
is
they can
balls?
get is they can get the mushy. It's not... I should be clear. Yeah, it's not mammoth testicles.
Do I smush it into a burger patty, or
You would have the option of making mammoth sliders, I guess.
I don't know why, but I know I'm not supposed to. It's kind of like if you got an expensive whiskey, you don't put Diet Coke in it.
Yeah.
But for me, if I've got a mammoth piece of meat, I'm having a mammoth burger or a mammoth taco because
100%. I'm with you.
you made it so much better than what do we just grill it so you taste the raw mammoth? Like I don't need.
That's funny. So they made the meat, but it comes in a ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
There it is. Behold the past and the future in that ball.
That's an AI image. They haven't been able to do that. They're lying.
No offense, but I'd rather
That's a chat GPT meatball.
Chat GPT meatball.
Can they do a little more research and make a mammoth instead?
They're working on that. The Russians are working on that.
Don't get me wrong, I love a bowl, but
But if they're gonna make a meatball, at least try to make it look good. You know what I mean?
yeah, I know.
That looks like
It looks rowdy.
That looks like a planet in a sci-fi movie from
It
the
looks
60s.
like it.
That looks like a condensed pine cone.
It looks like the opening credits of Mystery Science Theater.
It looks like a horse poopy about to pop out of its anus.
Yes, it definitely looks like a
looks
horse
weighty.
horse waste.
Yeah, horse waste. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Or maybe a gorilla turd.
Well, we
If
don't
you're
know.
like, did you know that that's a photo of a gorilla turd? I'd be like, yeah, yeah, I'll go with that.
What if they told you that was a picture of a new planet they found? You'd be like, oh yeah, yeah.
That
But they're
too.
telling us that it's a meatball, and we're like,
I
oh,
definitely wouldn't want to live there though. It looks rocky.
yeah, it does.
And small.
And that's did you know that's flat? That's flat Earth. That's actually the globe, and it's not. People say that it's a flat Earth, but it's not. It's a round Earth.
Yeah.
Sitting on a flat rock.
That's right. As you can see, the Earth is actually orbited by a smear of aioli.
Right.
Google it.
We're
That
constantly-
comment looks like aioli.
Google it, libtards. That is. That's what it is. That's where we live.
But I'm
Let
with
me
you.
see.
Hamburger all the way for sure.
Yeah.
Did,
You'd be crazy not to do that.
Did you guys see is it a woman from, I think, Tennessee, who was a news anchor for 20 years, who was abruptly fired for quoting Snoop Dogg?
No.
Which bit of Snoop Dogg did she quote? Because there's a lot of
Yeah.
things. Did she say for shizzle?
She said,
Oh, she didn't say.
she did.
Wait,
Wow.
wait. We can't. We can't do.
That's the question. She went full nizzle.
Wait, I thought we could do nizzle.
We may have just gotten canceled from YouTube.
Oh God.
I think the consensus is that this is cancel culture has finally gone too far, and Charlemagne actually weighed in and said the same thing. But you can see, I mean, I don't know if you need to see the clip or not. They're talking about Snoop in some capacity, and she just goes, "I know what to say now. I'll
Yeah.
say that thing that Snoop says."
Yeah.
And like, I don't even know if she made it through the commercial break.
Well, they fired her.
Yeah. And that's the question. And I feel like the consensus on this one is that, yeah, she shouldn't have done it, but she just doesn't know any better. And
shouldn't
this
have
is
done it.
this is not worth getting
She
fired
shouldn't
over.
have done it. I mean, there's a script, right? There's a script. That
No,
they
I think
follow.
I think she went ace. I don't think this was from a teleprompter. Here she is.
Oh, there was an ad that said it was loading here.
She's a jolly lady.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Before we know it, she'd have a Snoop Dogg tattoo on her shoulder.
For shizzle, my nizzle.
I'm telling you. Julie, what you think about that?
The guy in the blue suit knew it.
Yeah. No, I know. In
He
real
knew
time.
it.
Cool.
Yeah.
You could feel everybody's.
He's laughing, but then when she does that, he's like,
Yeah.
"You're done."
You can
Look
feel
at-
every palm in the room get sweaty. when
He's
she
like,
says
"Ah,
it.
no." Ah, man. I mean,
White people.
Crazy.
it's like it's for sure, my friends. No. They
How
can't-
about you not say it? Easy, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
See, it seems like you are against her saying that.
Just stick to the script. I mean, you get paid to read the teleprompter.
You're right.
Yeah.
If you're a morning TV host,
the job
to-
description says
to try and be edgy or to try and riff when you're not like
That's not what they hired you for.
It's not
yeah.
a good idea.
Yeah.
You're right. Because we have seen several people kind of get in
She
trouble.
shouldn't say it. Yeah, it just
Yeah.
yeah. She learned for sure.
Yeah, it's a hefty price because who's hiring her?
Fox and Friends.
Yeah, good point. Yeah,
She'll probably be opening for Roseanne now.
yeah, she's great, isn't she?
Let's see. What else is that? Anybody is John Wick 4 out yet?
No, but I want to watch it.
You know, early
wanna
reviews
watch it.
are
No.
is the greatest movie of all time.
Yes,
Wow, I can't wait.
One reviewer
it-
said it might be the greatest movie ever made.
yes.
Greatest movie
So-
ever made.
Look out!
And it's number
Godfather.
4. How do you get to 4 and not suck? Is it? It's never been done.
They're already talking 5.
Wait, sorry. Fast and the Furious has done it. Even though I don't like any of them, but they made it to 9 or 10, right?
One of the and they just
Something
get better
like
every
that,
single
yeah.
time. Yeah,
They get
pretty soon they're going to be going to
they-
Planet Mammoth Meatball.
every time they get better.
Lobster for sure. Get him a lobster.
One of the secrets of the success of the John Wick series that people may not have noticed, at least according to Keanu Reeves, is that he says less words every single time. He personally went through the script and figured out ways to
Minimize.
limit the number of like syllables. He says that John Wick 4 is almost 3 hours long, and Keanu says 380 words.
Yes.
Wow.
And they're probably like, no, and yeah.
It's all it's like that next level of acting where you can act with the look and the this. And
That's like the people that get stuck on an island, or because you got Tom Hanks got stuck on an island. Then you got old wrinkly guy that used to be like the Brad Pitt before Brad Pitt.
Robert Redford.
Robert Redford was stuck on a boat, and it was you get an award for it. If you can do it right, you get an award for it. Who else did it? Who else by themselves?
What was that movie where, what was it, like Twilight guy and Willem Dafoe just hung out in a tower and
Lighthouse
jerked
one.
off?
All right, that's hot. But the wrinkly guy that's like Brad Pitt, he drops one F-bomb in the boat, and it is the level of his F-bomb and his acting ability at his age. It's truly tremendous. Like, I was like, I don't think anyone has said a more passionate F-bomb I've never seen it on film. No one's ever beat this F-bomb. He is like, seriously?
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I'm so bad with movies, but
He's great in it.
I gotta check
You're
it out.
the only person who has ever said anything favorable about that movie.
He didn't get an award for it?
I think the
Robert Redford got an award for
the old man in a boat,
I'm stuck in a boat with Robert Redford.
Angry Rowboat, starring.
Oops,
Robert-
there goes me dinghy. Because he lives in a dinghy for most of it. Spoiler alert. But he's a hell of a
Sailor?
seaman.
Yeah,
Sailman? Nah, seaman.
no, you had it right the first
He's
time.
a seaman, right?
Sailor?
Yeah. I forgot the name of it.
And some guys, speaking of movie classics, reminiscent of Shawshank Redemption, these guys painstakingly, little by little, figured out a way to make a hole in the wall of a Virginia jail, and then they went out together.
What?
And
Yes.
then look at that's a real. I thought that was like a stock picture. That's a real photo of the hole that they made. They had to figure out get around rebar.
How'd they get around it?
I'm
What
not
they
really
used to get through?
I
Is
think
this the toothbrush story?
yeah, they did. A toothbrush was involved, and then they got through that, and then they went over a fence, and then they
Badass.
immediately got arrested at IHOP.
Yeah.
At IHOP? Because that's what
I know,
you want.
right?
Yeah, oh my god.
That's clear. You could have even Denny's. You know, why IHOP?
You think they would have got away if they were at a Denny's?
Yeah.
No, I think if it's
No, I
if
just
we're
think you
gonna-
would have got a better omelet before you went
A
back to
better-
jail. Wait, you think IHOP's better than Denny's?
Denny's is the worst.
No,
IHOP is the worst.
Denny's is the worst, is what I heard over there. What don't you like about it?
Just in my experience when I used to tour a lot, like if we had an option and it was IHOP or Denny's or anything else, Denny's, the food was always just terrible. Like pale eggs, soggy hash browns,
But you
no
said
flavor.
you said eggs. Because
Yeah.
IHOP just has like those cartons of like ask them for anything other than scrambled eggs at IHOP and see what they say.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Really?
they can't
Oh,
do
I
it.
didn't
Yeah,
know
they don't
that.
have
It's a paste.
they don't have eggs.
Oh.
Yeah,
I never
we
said
win,
IHOP was
Michael.
good.
Yeah. It's
One
not
time
the
I-
International House of Eggs.
One time I had IHOP and my food came frozen, and I was like, "It's still frozen."
Yeah.
And then she went back and she gave it back to me, and it was less frozen, but it was still frozen.
Oh no.
And then the next time she put it in the microwave long enough.
One of the
It was
highlights.
frozen hash browns.
Oh my god.
One of the highlights of my childhood was the time that we went there and my sister got spaghetti and meatballs and there was steel wool in her meatball, like from them scrubbing something. And we told the manager and they gave us free dessert.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
like how hard Scrabble my youth was.
What if that was Willie Mammoth fur?
Oh my goodness.
They had him before.
Right. Yeah. IHOP beat this startup to the
That's
to
what
the
I'm
punch.
saying.
I went to Gracias Madre one time. No, went to what's the place on Sunset?
El Compadre.
El Compadre with my family, and my daughter got ice cream, and it had a broken Heineken bottle in it.
Well, that's
No.
personal.
And I was like, "Hey guys, you have like green shards of glass in this ice cream," and they're like, "Oh man, that's super bad."
Oh, that's funny. What's the worst thing you found in your food at a restaurant that you're like, hey, like I can't believe this is in here?
Oh, that's it for me. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
You were giving my 10-year-old daughter at the time ice cream with big pieces that you could see, so it was actually a good thing because
Yeah.
my
Little
daughter was
pieces,
like,
bigger
"Dad,
problem."
what's
Yeah.
that?" I'm like, "That's
Oh.
that's a Heineken bottle."
Well, it's that family that got a rat.
I love that restaurant too. It was really tough.
The family got a rat in New York recently.
Oh,
It happened
yeah.
a while back, but they just filed a lawsuit a week or two ago. They got some like Korean like hot pot kind of thing, and it was a pretty undeniable
Oh my god.
whole rat.
What's the nastiest thing you've had?
A plastic cup lid. You know the lids.
Yeah.
It was at Chili's, and there was a whole lid like folded in there. And I remember taking a sip, just killing it. And I'm like, hey, the ice is not. I'm like, oh wait a minute. I said, yo, come over here, look at this. He's like, what am I looking at? I'm like, a lid. He's like, okay. He's like, oh my god, was that in there the whole time? I'm like, yeah. Therefore, I'm drinking somebody else's drink, or yeah,
I loved Chili's as a child.
Streets are so rough sometimes.
yeah.
I think I selected Chili's as the place we went for our fancy dinner after I graduated from 8th grade.
Wow, I think you and me both actually.
I couldn't
Man,
conceive
you guys
of
need to stop flexing, all
I
right?
couldn't conceive of any finer culinary delight than their fried chicken.
Ooh,
The
that is
ribs
pretty
for
good.
me, but
Yeah.
it was either that or hometown buffet. That was like
Oh man.
my jam. You said,
Hell yeah.
Oh hell yeah! Okay,
Hell
we're
yeah.
on the same page.
Everybody is so trashy in this room.
Hometown buffet. How could you miss?
I used to like Soup Plantation.
It was pretty good. They had like
I used to go in there so
the
high.
cornbread.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
would just wreck.
Yeah,
Eat all the desserts. Go back second serving of salad.
I never went.
Mountains.
I remember once going to hometown buffet, and I was like, just treat yourself. I went straight for the desserts.
Yeah.
No food. I'm
If
like,
you got to treat yourself, that's what it's.
yeah. That's where you go and just their bread pudding was next level. Put some ice cream in there.
Yeah.
I brought my kid to Sizzler to keep the dream alive.
Oh,
There's
you
only,
win.
Nice.
There's only
Yeah.
like 2 of those left.
Yeah.
It's great as long
We got to
as
put a stop to those too.
as long as you don't order like the entrees. Is if you just stick to
Somebody's got to stop that.
the salad bar has tacos.
No.
Yeah.
You got to stop.
Yeah, the salad bar is not bad actually.
It's
Yes.
the most
owner of that
liberal
restaurant
definition of
needs-
salad
Needs to
ever.
be tackled to the ground.
Tony
and
Sizzler?
arrested. No.
He's
yes.
family.
Jesus, where can everybody find you and all that stuff?
Website is JesusTrejo.com. I'm on Instagram at Jesus Trejo, the number 1. Yeah, and I got this book coming out June 6th. You can pre-order now. Everything's on the website, JesusTrejo.com.
Thanks for coming on the show, dude.
Thank you so
And
much.
Thanks for doing stand-up for me more than once last minute. That one time, Brea,
Thank you
with
so
one
much.
day a heads up. Thank you.
No,
That
thank you
was-
so much. It means the world to me. Thank you. And yeah, I'm excited. Let's keep gigging together, man.
I'm down. See you next week, everybody. Want to check out more Jason Ellis Show, patreon.com/EllisMate. Don't die.